To be here again. Yesterday we had our last session. We're back here. This is 2024, our first streaming in this amazing year. Hope you all had an amazing time away. Hope you all had an amazing time back in 2024. It feels already like 2024 is almost over. Today is the 21st. That's 21st. That means we're already a 12th down the road. But it's never too late to start things. It's never too late to come to the realization of where and what it is we need to do. So once again, go and tell a friend of a friend that the Power Tribe, our monthly webinar is live already, where you can ask Coach Mo any questions. We talk about the main theme for the day and we get it started. So let us get it started. Today, what am I going to be talking about today? Today, what we're just going to be looking into is what I call the 2024 outlook. How are you positioning yourself? How are you preparing yourself in the areas of your finances to ensure you are actually prepared for what life is bringing, prepared for what is coming in this 2024? That is what we'll quickly look into today. Nothing to, it is nothing too complicating. It's knowledge simplified. And we're going to start this series is going to be the financial ABC. That is our theme for 2024. It is the financial ABC series 1. That is what we're going on right away. So let's get it started. So to start with, I bet if I ask anyone on here, do we have what they call the New Year resolutions? I bet we all had it. Everybody was scrambling on the 31st to see if 21st was the last deadline for us to actually put in the check for 2024. We're all scribbling down, I won't do this, I won't do that, I won't do this, I won't do that. So can you let me see in the chat, let me see if you have your resolutions and what are those financial revolutions that you made? Or what are the resolutions you actually made, be it financial or not? It's actually not important right now. It's just making sure that we all actually did have a New Year's resolution. Did you have it? Have I got any? Let me think about it. I think mine was actually quite simple. I had one goal for 2024, and that is the only thing I'm putting all my energy towards. And that was it for me. One goal and making sure everything I do is aligned and strategically in step towards that single target. I'm not targeting 2 things. I'm not targeting 3 things. I'm not targeting 4 things. I am targeting just only one. And that is what it is. Just only one. And that is what I am doing. So yes. Oh, I can see V-Brain says financial stability. That is awesome. Financial stability, that's a good place to start. Anybody else? What else are your financial goals, your resolutions this time around? I realized in the past when I've tried to have too many things I'm looking out to achieve, I kind of don't usually hit them. Well, that is personal. So I've learned to, number one, is resolved on fewer things I'm looking for and then putting all my energy towards those things. So now let's get to the crux of it. The outlook for 2024. Before we actually start, we mostly usually too eager to get off the line that we actually don't properly reset ourselves or don't properly plan ourselves for the race ahead. 2024 is not going to be a sprint. As we all finding out, it is a marathon. All it is it's actually a leg in the marathon of the long race we're going towards, because this financial independence journey, it is a marathon itself. But 2024 is actually a phase within that marathon. So it's important for us to actually see it from that perspective, to know that we're actually looking in terms of a specific zone within a much bigger frame. So for 2024, what are the things that we should actually truly and really consider? And that's what we're going to be talking about today. The first thing I think it's most important there is what I call the self-reflection and prioritization. What does that mean? Most of the times, we don't take enough stock before we decide to actually embark on a new journey. So this is whereby normally this should have been done way before now. But let's assume we're all caught up in the festivity period. We didn't have the time to do that. We're all caught up in showing love, expressing love. We didn't get the time to do that. This is the time whereby we now said, okay, let's slow down. We know 2024 started. It's never too late. Slow down, hold your horses, and engage in what I call the self-reflection and prioritization. What are the things that are most important to you in 2024? Which is actually in line with what I would call that your long-term financial journey, your wealth building journey. What are those things? List what your desires are. And this is not a mental exercise you need to do. This is an exercise whereby you need a pen, a piece of paper, or you need a somewhere to actually write it down. You know, it's been proven scientifically that there is a 35% more chance of you achieving anything that is actually written down compared to you just thinking about it. Once you've listed all your desires, you've gone through, this is not something you just do someday, one afternoon, and you start scribbling it down. See, your life is way more important than that. Put more effort into the brainstorming section. Think about it. What is everything you need to achieve financially for 2024? Have a list of them. Don't be too quick to just pick one and say, oh, I'm going to do that. No, take your time to list them down. And that could include, I want to pay off some debts, or I want to pay off all my debts. See, they're two different things. Paying off some debts and paying off all the debts are two different things. But you can have it and say, first, you know what, I want to pay off debt. I want to be able to have some time to do some things. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this. I want to do that. See, at this stage and point in time, everything is allowed into that bucket, that bucket of your thoughts. Write it down. Everything you want to achieve, note it down, write it down. Let nothing hold you down. Continue to write that list as long as possible. I would say do it over a period of time. Don't rush yourself. See, there are 12 amazing months in this year. We are not even over the first month, so you still have time. Don't be pressured. Don't let any YouTube, any Facebook, anything on any of the media, the mediums of social mediums actually pressure you to feel like, wow, you're well ahead. Or people say, no, they've already hit their target for the month. Good luck to them. You are not them. Remember, this is a personalized journey. It is called personal finance for a reason. It is personal to you, to your home, to your family, to your life, to your journey, to your destiny. So let this be personal. Once you've listed everything you feel, okay, I would like to achieve in 2024 in regards to your financial goals, then the next thing is now identify the motivations. What does that mean? What it means there is, what are the things that matters to you most? Begin to see, there is a way, you know, right inside of yourself whereby you connect your inner motivation to say, okay, what is the most important thing to me in this leg of the journey right now that I'm on? And that is where you begin to do that. And now, as you begin to look through that list, you now begin to make asterisks based on where I am now. What is it that, why do these goals matter to me? It's very, very crucial. If you're unable to answer the why, you will really struggle with actually progressing with the goal all through the year. So take your time, identify in terms of what is the motivation behind you setting these goals? Why are they important to you? And now, once you've gone through that exercise, and trust me, this will take some soul searching, and this will require honesty to yourself. Be very, very honest to yourself. Be very, very honest and say, why is that important to me? Note that down. Once you've now done that, you're at the point whereby you've reflected, you've listed your goals, your desires, they're all written down. You've now begin to identify the motives. Why are these important to me? Once you've gone down that list, the next stage for you to do there is, and you know what? We're still within the self-reflection stage right now. You now begin to say, okay, let me begin to prioritize. I have written 10, 12, 15, 5, 7 things I would like to achieve in 2024 in terms of my financial blueprint. What are the most important things that I do think I would like to prioritize? Priority means putting things, not everything can be tackled at once. See, there's something called what's it called? You need to understand the way you are as an individual. You don't have all the energy, you don't have all the time to achieve everything at once. So what you need to do there is now prioritize how you will tackle each of these things. Analyzing the list, and begin to now do what? To now begin to now put priority. Ask yourself, if I could only do one thing within this list, which one would I do now? And you must base these things on what? Urgency, importance, and feasibility. How urgent is it to you? How important is it to you? And how feasible is this? So we've gone from having a whole list of desires. We've gone to the point where we've actually now looked through that and we've asked ourselves the why for that list. Now we are now at the stage whereby we are now prioritizing this list. By the time you get to this stage, you would have clarity when it comes to which of them is most important, which of them is most urgent, and in terms of which of them is how feasible are these things. And then you now begin to ask yourself, if I could only do one thing, what would I do out of this list first? You write number one. Okay. Once I've finished with that, if I couldn't do anything after that, what would it be? Write number two against that. And begin to take that method to go through each of those step by step by step by step. You know, so there was this article I read about Warren Buffett was flying, and then he had some time to spend some time with the pilot of who was actually flying with the pilots, and then the pilot was asking Warren Buffett that how come he's able and so successful to do everything, he's able to achieve so much in his life and all of that. And then Warren Buffett now asked him to say, you know what? Write a list of everything you needed to do, everything you like to achieve. After he's written everything, he said, okay, now number them in order of priority. He now numbered them. He now said, okay, pick the top three. Pick the top three and throw the rest away. The rest of the things on the list are the hindrances to you accomplishing the top three goals you've set yourself. I'm not telling you to only have three. I'm just giving you an example in this case. Once you've been able to prioritize your financial goals, things becomes clearer. Do you know what that is giving you? That is giving you in terms of detail and specificity in terms of targeting one of those goals at a time. When it now comes, all of these things, you're very woolly about it. You've just got them down. You've not really, hi, Bumble, it's good to see you. You now have faint idea of what they are, not in details. So what you now need to do next is the approach in which I'm sure all of us know is actually the best way to now begin to now set those goals in terms of you now crystallizing those goals. You now have an idea of the 3 things, the 4 things, the 2 things, the 1 thing you would want to do. So how do you actually put this out there for them to actually now be what you could call as a goal? And what is a goal? There is a model called the SMART goal setting model. And what does that mean? Number one, That goal in terms of your finances, you have to be very, very specific. Clarity is important. And when I mean specific, you have to clearly define each of those goals in order of their priority. Now you can tell in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the order of the priority. This is the top 2 I'm going after this year. And sometimes, see, the problem we have is we go after too many things at the same time. Have you ever seen someone who is targeting something and is targeting 2 objects at the same time? How feasible is it to actually achieve those 2 things at the same time? It's quite difficult. It's difficult to hit 2 targets at the same time. That is why focusing on a target one per time allows you to be able to dedicate all your energy, all your willpower, all your resources towards that specific goal. So number one is it has to be very specific. You're clear about it. Let's say you want to say, oh, I want to, let's say, save. You can't just say, oh, my number one goal is I want to save. Save what? How much? For what? To do what? So the first thing is, if you want to pay off debts, let's say that's the first thing on your list. If you said, okay, I want to pay off debts, what does that mean? Is it I want to be completely debt-free? I want to pay off some of my debts. I want to be able to have paid up a portion of my debt. You have to be very specific about it. There has to be a target. You could say, I want to pay off 10% of my debts in 2024. Or I want to pay off just my credit card debts in 2024. Or I want to pay off this particular debt in 2024. I want to pay off all my overdraft in 2024. Be specific around that goal, each of those goals. Number 2, which is linked to number 1 in terms of that, is now it has to be measurable. You must be able to measure that goal. If your goal is, I want to make more money, I want to earn more money. Okay, how? How much do you want to increase your inflow by? It has to be quantifiable, measurable. I want to make £5,000, $5,000, or 5 million naira more in 2024. Now that is being specific and measurable because you're specific about it and you can measure it because there is a particular quantifiable, measurable metric against that particular goal. If you want to lose weight, you can't just say, I want to lose weight. I want to lose 2 kg, 3 kg, 4 kg, 5 kg, 6 kg. You have to be very specific and the goal has to be measurable. I want to lose 3 pounds. And we're going to come to the third point, which is you have to be very realistic. We're using the SMART model. And with the SMART model, the S stands for you being specific. The M is you being, it has to be measurable. We must be able to measure it. I am not just going to lose weight in 2024. What does that mean? My goal in 2024 is to lose 10 kg. Now we have something that is specific and it has to be realistic. Now, if you weigh, see, I'm from the school of thought of nothing is impossible. But you have to put that in the context of knowing who you are. It's got to be realistic. If you owe £1 million or $1 million and you earn only 60,000 a year, and your goal is saying, I want to pay off all my debts. I want to pay off the $1 million, £1 million debt I owe in 2024. My question there is, you've been specific, it's measurable, but how attainable is that goal? If you throw all the money you're going to earn in 2024 into that without you spending a dime, you know that is extremely unattainable. I am not saying it's impossible. Don't get this wrong. Is it attainable? Are you being realistic with the goal? Most of the time, we set ourselves so high a standard of goals that it becomes overwhelming. And that is when most of us fail when it comes to goal setting. There is this saying, how do you eat an elephant? It's a bite at a time. How do you build a castle? It's a brick at a time. When it comes to you setting goals, ensure that these are goals that you can have what they call the small wins. So that keeps the momentum of you being going. And then the R means it has to be relevant. So right now, you know your goals have got to be specific, it's got to be measurable, it's got to be attainable, realistic. And then the R means it has got to be very, very relevant. The goals you're setting, how do they align with your life, the direction you're going, and your values? Your goal should be something that takes you a step towards your long-term target. Every goal must be a building block to achieving that overall grand idea, grand vision you have. Your short-term goal, your medium-term goal must all align with what is your long-term goal. What is the goal at the end of the day? The goal at the end of the day is financial independence. Now, what is financial independence to you as a person? As much as it is important for you to set the goal within for 2024, what is your long-term goal? If you don't have a long-term goal and you're setting a goal for 2024, how are you sure that what you achieve or what you're planning to achieve in 2024 aligns with your long-term goals, your long-term values, and your long-term priorities? We are always too in a hurry to start a new year without checking. Do you have a long-term goal? Let's take a moment to think about it. Do you have a long-term goal? What is a long-term goal? Usually, long-term is quite subjective. It's up to individual. What do you call long-term? For some people, the long-term goal is 30 years. Some people, long-term is 20 years. Some people, long-term is 10 years. But majorly, mostly, usually, on average, long-term are usually about 5 to 10 years. For me, long-term is 10 years. I believe there is a possibility to change the direction and the trajectory of your financial life within a period of 10 years. I believe 10 years is enough for you to completely change life direction into whatever you think works for you. If you're in so much debt, 10 years is enough time for you to be in a position where it's either you're completely debt free or you've cut your debt so much down that you can see the end in sight of that debt. If it is for you to actually hit a particular financial milestone, 10 years is usually quite a sizable distance. So while we're having the outlook for 2024, we're looking at what 2024 is. And see, 2024 will never give you something you did not demand from it. You've got to put a demand on life. You've got to put a demand on life. You've got to put a demand on 2024. What do you want to get out of it? You want money? Fine. How much? For what? That is the R of the smart. And the T, it has to be time bound. See, a goal without a time is a wish. Most of us, we've been wishing all our lives. I want to do this by when? Any goal that is not time bound, it's not a goal, it's a wish. I want to get married by when? I want to have my master's degree by when? I want to have my PhD by when? I want to have this amount saved up by when? I want to be financially free by when? See, this being specific with your goal, ensuring it's measurable with an element of it, not even an element, ensuring it's attainable, where there is a relevance around it towards your long-term goal. One thing that envelopes all of that is time. It has to be time bound. See, time is what makes you have an appointment with destiny. Time is you having a date with destiny. Time is you being able to know that I'm late, I'm on time, or I'm early. Time is something we're going to talk about when it comes to finances. See, finance and time, there is this relationship between them. So the question there is, what are the deadlines for each of those goals? What are the deadlines? When? You know the what? You know the why? The question is the when. When? When? You don't have all the time in the world. When is you setting what you want to do with seasons and giving it timing? Once you've been able to do that, and this is what you do with each of those goals. That is why I've only got one goal this year. Not many, just one. See, you need to understand something called willpower. Willpower is a limited resource for every human being. And I've read quite extensive on willpower to understand that the point there is willpower is a bank that you have. And almost every morning, that account is being refreshed. And every time you are required to make a decision, you are drawing out from that willpower bank. So every day, you can do anything you want. You can achieve any task you've set yourself. But one thing you should bear in mind is every time there is a need for you to make a mental decision, you are drawing that ability from a particular bank, which is your willpower bank. That is why towards the end of the day, most of the time, people fail to achieve a lot of things. That is why most of the rule breaking happens later in the evening. Do you know why? You've exhausted your willpower bank so much during the day that when that time comes later, you cannot be bothered because it is not there anymore. So, having the consciousness of the fact that there is a limited value to your what? to your willpower. It has a gauge. See, when you're driving a vehicle, every vehicle is powered by something: gasoline, battery, whatever it is called. Every mile you drive, it is taken out from the reserve. Something has to power life, something powers movement. And that is why a lot of the great achievers, they automate some minor unnecessary decision making. That is why we see some people, they just wear they keep a particular brand of clothing, and that's all they wear. Why? They don't want to wake up in the morning to begin to exhaust that power bank on what am I wearing. That is why you see some people, they just wear the same thing. It's easy. They go in there, they pick one. It's all going to be the same thing anyway. Just examples. See, your ability to preserve that bank from unnecessary task is what will determine what you would achieve eventually within the day to move you towards the goal. Stop putting unnecessary requirements on your willpower bank. Else, you will never achieve the task needed for you to achieve in the day to align with you achieving that goal eventually. See, Anthony Trollope said something. He said, a small daily task, if it be truly daily, will beat the labors of a spasmodic Hercules. What that is telling you there is the task you need to do to achieve your goal that you've already prioritized, you're going through it, has to be daily. There has to be consistency. See, anything that does not happen in your life daily will never control or change your life. You are where you are today with your finances based on what you have been doing daily. They are the things that have contributed to where you are in terms of your finances. Finance is so broad, a lot of things are connected to it. So now that you have your SMART goals, having goals is it's not the most important thing. How, what task have you set in place to achieve those goals? Your goal is to what you said you want to be able to do, what? To be debt free by this amount of money by this particular time. The next thing there is, what actions have you aligned? Have you set yourself? What task are you going to be doing daily to make sure that happens? You've set a 12-month goal. Now, ask yourself, how do I get from here to my 12-month goals? Amazing. You've got 12 amazing blocks of months. Now break them down as them being junctions for you to check how far you have come. Once you've done that, now within the months, what do I need to do consistently within that month to make sure I achieve the milestone for that end of the month? There has to be milestones on the journey of you achieving your goals. Milestones are key points where you check, you reflect, and say, how have I done? If I need to take 12 steps to get to where I'm going, and by the end of month one, I've not taken a whole step, I know there's likely going to be a problem, or I would have to speed up the steps I need to take in the other months. So that begs the question. That begs that. So it's going to be a very short one this time around. I'm not going to waffle on too long. Sometimes when we have too many information, we struggle to actually know what to do with it. So this time around, we're going to stop here. And the reflection on there is ask yourself, do I actually have goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound towards my short, medium, and long-term financial journey? What do I hope to achieve? So until next, let's keep this engagement going. Join our Power Tribe. And remember, a small daily task, if it be truly daily, will beat the labors of a Hercules. Keep in touch. From Coach Mo. Let me see if there are any questions at all for me today. Thank you very much, everyone. I'll see you again, same time next month when we continue the series Financial ABC, and we're going to be on series 2. Thank you. God bless.